What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. We often hear the word GRAIL tossed around many different times for many different sneakers that come out over the years, and even recently. A lot of people will say the Jordan Off-White 1 is a GRAIL and all these other types of things. But to me personally, a GRAIL is a sneaker that has a deep emotional connection that typically is a sneaker that released once before, way back in the day, with a really cool story attached to it that maybe you weren't able to get your hands on, or maybe they got destroyed somewhere or they got lost somewhere, and thankfully to Nike, that sneaker makes a re-emergence back in a later year. And today we're looking at a sneaker that has been a lot of, especially OG sneakerheads, GRAIL status shoes for a long time. Without further ado, let's jump into them. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2021 Nike Air Max 90 Bacon. This sneaker right here put a smile on a lot of people's faces. And if you don't really understand why you see the smile on a lot of your older sneakerheads' faces when they look at this sneaker or when they finally have this sneaker in hand, I'm going to take you down memory lane a little bit after we take a little deeper look at the shoe. Let's dive into it. All right, guys, now starting with the upper here, you guys are going to notice two things: quality materials and classic colors on a classic silhouette. We just came out of Air Max month where we celebrated so many different Air Max models, and now we're taking a look at one of the most iconic Air Max 90 models, honestly, in history. First thing I want to note here is around the collar of the sneaker and down in the toe box. You have this really nice premium leather here that when you press it in, it just wrinkles all the way in. It's very well done. Now, moving down from there, you have a premium nubuck material here, this red here. And again, the colors are all made to represent different layers of the pork loin or the pork belly, or of course, what we know as bacon. The brown hits, of course, if you were cooking bacon on a griddle, it would start to turn brown, but then you would also see the little hits of pink like you have on the leather swoosh here, the little bit of red here that you have on the nubuck, and then of course the lighter kind of cream color here that you see on the premium leather on the back and on the toe box of the shoe. Now, as I mentioned, you have that brown here that's also on the eyelets going down the sneaker, and you also have this really nice Air Max badging in that same brown down here in the lateral and medial heel as well. Now, outside of that badging, you also have a really nice suede that's going all the way down the entire length of the Air Max 90. Now, all this stuff is very true to the OG model if you guys have ever seen it or had your hands on them. Moving down from there, you have the classic big midsole here, the Air Max 90 midsole, but this time, of course, it's brown. And if you look through the airbag here on this unit, it's actually pink inside of that airbag. I like that. Taking a top down look at the shoe here, you notice that you have the brown kind of light tan color laces here. You have that same really nice premium leather toe box, that lighter kind of beige color. More hits of that premium nubuck here at the bottom where the stitching is. And then, of course, you see the pink tongue popping out underneath those laces as well. There's something about the colors of the bacon that just seem to work so well for me. And for those of you guys who kind of put two and two together now, the Air Jordan 1 Travis Scott used a very similar color palette where they had a completely brown sneaker with that pop of pink laces. Some of us may have forgotten that that was actually done before, and we're seeing brown and pink work very well on the Bacon Air Max 90. Now, on the front of the tongue here, of course, the tongue is kind of this mesh netted tongue here. You also have that really nice brown tag here with the red Nike Air Max writing on it as well. Moving around to the heel of the shoe here, the classic Air Max 90 heel badging with that pink Nike Air writing on the heel. On the inside of the sneaker here, round about where the sock liner is and moving down into the heel, premium soft leather as well. So this sneaker is going to be very comfortable to wear. Of course, that's what the original designer Dave Ortiz wanted to accomplish with his Air Max 90. It was all supposed to be about comfort and quality. On the outsole of the sneaker here, all brown outsole looking like that cooked bacon, very nice. And on the insole, you have that red insole looking just like the red nubuck on the outer of the shoe with that pink Nike Air badging on the heel. Now, you guys may have noticed that, of course, I am a part of the size 9 gang, but this shoe is a size 11. So before we get into the accessories and the history behind the sneaker, I do want to give a really special shout out to Steve Rush, one of the followers from Twitter that was gracious enough to actually send me his pair of Bacons because I took an L on this shoe. So I'm still trying to find myself a pair of my size 9, but Steve, in the meantime, thank you very much, man, for being gracious enough to let me take a look at these. I really appreciate that. Now, the accessories on this sneaker are really exciting. The first thing is that I mentioned before that these come with the brown laces that kind of match the sock liner and the back of the tongue on this shoe as well, but there are more laces. Standard with the shoe, you're going to get a pair of red laces and a pair of pink laces to go along with those beige laces. However, the guy that sent these over to me, Steve, was actually lucky enough to get his pair from Concepts up in Boston, and Concepts actually threw in a couple of extra accessories as well. This is the extra set of laces that came with the special packaging in addition to the 2 extra sets. These laces are a tricolor lace set that actually encompasses all of the different colors of the sneaker here into one vacuum seal package, exactly looking like a pack of bacon. You guys know I'm a sucker for good packaging, and this right here is good packaging. Now, not only that, but a couple of extra stickers for the Bacon Air Max 90 came with these as well. Steve was nice enough to say that I could keep one of the stickers, so Steve, thank you very much. I will be keeping one of those. And I don't know if these come standard or not with the Air Max 90s now, this anatomical art support. I don't know if this came directly from Nike or if this was also a Concepts thing as well. I'm not sure. You guys can sound out down below and let me know. Now, one thing I do want to notice about the sneaker is that a lot of people have been complaining about a couple of quality control issues on this shoe, and I have seen a couple myself, starting with the medial side of the sneaker here. I want to zoom in on this because as soon as I took them out of the box, I noticed there was kind of like a little poke here, like a little tear here immediately coming out of the box. Not only that, but I also noticed like a small chip on the medial swoosh as well. A lot of people have been talking about there's been a small little notches and little scratches on their pair as well. Sound out down below and let me know if your pair looked a little bit more like these or if your pair was pretty pristine. But in the meantime, that's pretty much all that there is to the Air Max 90 Bacon. Now, as I mentioned, let's take a little trip down memory lane to talk about the inspiration behind this sneaker back in 2004. If you guys are familiar at all with Dave Ortiz from New York, you guys know that he is a legend in the sneaker game, in the fashion game, and even in the graffiti game. He used to tag a lot of buildings and he used to go by the name Meat. Now, if you know why he called himself Meat and what the tag consisted of, I'll let you guys kind of do your Googles on that one. This is a family-friendly channel, so I won't really get into the origins of the Meat tag, but that's what he was known for. However, where he used to spend some of his time at when he would do some of his tagging was down in the meatpacking districts in New York. And he was talking to a friend of his one day and actually bet his friend $1 that he could actually open up a store, come up with a crazy name for the store, and come up with one of the first concept stores that actually would work. And he did that, and he called the store Dave's Quality Meat. The store, true to its name, looked like a butcher shop. He had different little fake pieces of meat hanging up in the doorway. He really dove all the way into that world of butchering meat and meats and different types of things like that. And it really was a success. It went off huge. So huge that Nike came knocking for him to actually do a sneaker collaboration in collaboration with his store, Dave Quality Meat. The only problem was that he had no clue what the sneaker was going to look like. Like I mentioned before, he wanted the sneaker to be comfortable and something that he himself could wear all day long, but he also wanted it to be kind of cool and something creative. So he was down to the wire. Nike gave him until the following Monday on a Friday afternoon to say that he needed to get his design complete. He didn't know what to do. He went down to go get a sandwich, and the sandwich happened to be a BLT. He looked at the bacon, light bulb went off, and he said, wow, I could do something with bacon in the way that bacon looks in the package. He bought 3 packs of bacon, took it back to his friends. A little bit later, the Bacon Air Max 90 was born. See, this is what I love about sneakers. It's stories, right? The storytelling in sneakers are what I love the absolute most. When you guys hold these in your hand, these aren't just $250 to $280 on StockX. This is a labor of love that came back in the early 2000s from somebody that was a budding entrepreneur that was grassrooting his store and that was getting major support from his community. And now the shoe has been held in such high regard that if you try to get a pair of 2004 DQM and Nike Air Max 90 Bacons, good luck to your wallet and prayers up for your bank account, because you are going to get hit with a major price tag. But the reason, like I mentioned, is because these sneakers have reached GRAIL status for so many different people that actually wore their shoes back in the day. Believe it or not, there was a time that people actually bought their sneakers to wear them. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm not trying to get on StockX on no dial-up modem on America Online back in the early days. But this sneaker really meant something. It meant a lot of pride for the community. It meant something for Dave Ortiz and for what he was building. And DQM, of course, has been shut down since then. And unfortunately, there really wasn't even any mention of DQM in the original history behind the bacon. And the sneakers app and just said, who doesn't love bacon? But what I found really interesting was that Nike actually gifted a couple people a pair of the Bacon Air Max 90s around social media, Twitter, things like that. And in a couple of the boxes that Nike was gifting to people, they actually put a little pack of bacon bits inside of the box, which I found very interesting because in an interview of Behind the Box that Dave Ortiz did with Sneaker News back in the day, he mentioned that that was one of his original concepts, was to put bacon bits inside of the shoe because he wanted to make it an experience. So I just kind of find it really disappointing, and I feel like Nike really did drop the ball by not bringing Dave Ortiz back into the fold of this sneaker to really tell that story, or to even reference DQM and Dave's quality meat, because honestly, if it weren't for DQM, there would be no Air Max 90 bacon. So I don't know how you can have one without the other, but I'm not Nike, so it is what it is. In any event, that might be the reason why we've seen a bit of decline as far as the value of the sneaker. It was limited, it was kind of hard to get your hands on, but at the end of the day, this also wasn't the official collaboration, more of a reprise of the collaboration from back in the day. And because of that, it kind of makes the history and the nostalgia of the sneaker cheapen and kind of watered down just a little bit. But at the end of the day, we got the shoe. And what matters is that we now have this iconic sneaker that we weren't able to get our hands on previously. As for the shoes, if you were lucky enough to get your hands on a pair, congratulations. As I mentioned, I still can't get my hands on a pair, but thank you once again to Steve Rush for letting me get these, man. I really appreciate it. You guys have really been coming through with letting me get some of these sneakers for me to get my hands on, for me to do a review on the channel, to make sure that you guys can see it and we can tell these stories and continue to tell these stories. And guys, listen, I really appreciate that. I don't take any of it for granted. So thank you once again, Steve. One more special thing I have to put into this video as well. When Steve reached out to me, he also mentioned that he was going to put this into the package as well. And I'll give you a little close-up look about what it actually is. This right here is a military coin from a mission in the Navy. Now, Steve was kind enough to go ahead and let me get this coin, and he gifted this to me out of a sign of respect for the things that I do on the channel and in the community. This is what the back of the coin looks like as well. Really, really dope. And like I said, these coins are usually given to other people in and outside of the military as a sign of respect and adoration and admiration, things of that nature. So Steve mentioned because he respected what I do for the sneaker community and out here in sneakers, telling these stories and trying to communicate these things with you guys, that he was going to gift me this. But what he didn't realize was that I actually had my own coin to give back to him. So Steve, in the box heading back to you, I actually have a B2 Stealth Bomber coin back from the program that I was working on when I was working as a financial analyst on the B2 Stealth Bomber program. And upon successful completion of one of the flights, we were all given these coins as well. So Steve, I will see your Navy coin, sir, and I will raise you a B2 Stealth Bomber coin, because that's what this community is all about. All right, guys, that's pretty much all that I have to say about these. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Air Max 90 Bacon for 2021. Were these ones that you guys were able to get your hands on, or were you not able to get your hands on these, or for whatever reason, were these a hard pass for you? Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family, to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Phetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Max 90 Bacon for 2021. And until next time, I'm out.